Well, the importance of managing your online presence. So today's topics of discussion, the building blocks for success report. So our annual report that we come out, this is our first release of it out to everyone in webinar series that we're doing. So we're going to go over some of our key findings, why you should be prioritizing your digital marketing, and how to easily grow an online following. So the building blocks report, so where did this come from? So this is insights into our industry trends, gathered from our 4,000 locations, which is comprised of over 500 organizations across 5 countries. So the key findings from this report, and what we'll go through, is number one, a strong online presence is essential for generating new leads and opportunities. Completing tours promptly to keep your prospective families engaged. Texting is the best way to communicate. So with today's parents being millennials, meeting them where they're at, and then integrating your technology stack. So generating new leads, increasing efficiencies, and reducing data entry errors. So everything today centered around our customers, centered around these themes. And why does an online presence matter? So this is your ability to build a reputation with families before you ever meet them. So the first place anybody goes right now today when they're looking for anything is online. Next, they're going to socials. And how you meet your prospects matters. So with COVID-19 regulations, including social distancing, digital marketing is always going to remain important. And on top of that, we're going to talk about some other trends that we've seen that will help you meet the parents where they're at. This is not going to go away either. So online presence, COVID has definitely accelerated it, but it's something that's going to stay because of the way that your parents like to engage. And the way this is shown is that this year, our users receive 53% of all their new opportunities from web sources. So online inquiries, filling out forms on your website, any parent scheduled tours, we've seen over half come from that source. Whereas you can see walk-in, phone, and our other sources are drastically less than that. So if you don't have an online source today, you're likely missing out on a big opportunity to have people come to your center and engage with you as a brand, reaching out for more information. Furthermore, year over year, phone leads continue to decline. So one of the other areas here as well is that when we talk about the 16% other, right, a lot of this is captured from emails coming in. So could those emails actually be a contact us form and fall onto the web? Could it be a parent scheduled tour? So when we look at leads coming in, it's not only how many leads are coming in from the web today, but how many are coming in from other channels that could contribute to web leads as well. So one of the other things too is that 80% of today's parents to children under 12 are millennials. So I would love to know, of the attendees here today, how many millennials do we have in the crowd? If you could drop a 1 in the chat if you're a millennial, a 2, any other generation, would love to know what our split is here. I'm a millennial, I'm a 1. But parents in need of care today are largely made up of millennials who came to age during the internet. So millennial parents consume and do everything from a technology standpoint, right? And what does that mean? Like, as millennials, what have you grown up with? You've grown up with the internet. You've grown up with cell phones. You've grown up looking for online reviews to capture things. Information's readily available at the tip of your fingers. And you've also had social networks to bring everyone together and grab word of mouth information. It's really fast information at the tip of your fingers. And that's how everybody not only wants to communicate with brands, but communicate with people as well. So what this all does is it really encourages communication. So building a strong online presence, you know, in the past, this traditional advertising, it was a lot of talking at people. So it'd be a TV ad or a print ad or a newspaper, and that was all outward. So you couldn't get any feedback from it. In today's day and age, it's about going online so that you can talk with your parents and with your families. So whether it's going on a website or social media or any other online listing service, like a lead gen, like a Winnie or a Kinside, families can contact you at the click of a button. And not only that, but they can contact you further and further. You can make them responsive. So click on this ad, now fill out a contact. Come to our website, chat with us. And it makes it really easy for you to communicate two ways with prospective families. All of a sudden, building that trust early on, showing them that you're responding to them, and being really engaged from the first time that they reach out to you. So why is this important? Building an online community. 95% of today's parents have a Facebook account. So Facebook or Instagram profiles provide cost-effective ways to build a network of fellow child care professionals, families, prospective families, partners, vendors, and consultants. So with this, your followers, these are your fans, right? You can share updates. You can share your personality, pictures, everything that's going on with both prospective parents and current parents, keeping them engaged, not only to get them to come to your center, but also to get them to stay there as well. And this helps to build loyalty and trust. So again, going back to the way millennial parents and the way that really most of us have adopted technology today, 62% said that if a brand engaged with them on a social network, they were more likely to become a loyal customer. That's over half. 82% of consumers read online reviews for local businesses. So this means that before somebody even reaches out to you, they're doing their research on you. They're trying to hear what their friends are saying, what similar parents are saying. And by building this loyalty and trust getting on there, it allows you to get feedback. It allows you to build a community. You can get word of mouth referrals. And all of a sudden, as opposed to a child care center that's down the street, you've got a big online brand and presence that's helping you to engage with your community as a whole and help get more parents to reach out to you. So you've done a lot of work. You've gone up front. You figured out what's going on. And now it's important for you to know where your leads are coming from. So lead tracking, this is going to be the process of documenting how these leads come in. So did they come in through Facebook or Google? Was it a walk-in? Did they call you by the phone? Did they hear about you from an ad that you guys were running or from a social network? So understanding which marketing tactics are going to help you reach your goals. So how many leads are coming in through these channels? How are these leads converting? And what does that mean for us and how we spend our money? So on average, tracking leads can help businesses earn 30% more in annual revenue. Seems like a big number, but when you think about this, it's going to key in on two different areas for you. One, how are you saving money? So what are you saving in your marketing spend? Whether it's just removing that and repurposing it somewhere else, or taking that marketing spend and doubling down on the channels that you know are working. Two, this increase in leads is going to result in an increase in enrollments. So not only are you saving money, you're also going to be generating more revenue as well. So where does it all start? So a lot of information on getting online, building its presence. But as you're starting out, so for those of you, and this is good, so if you currently have a strong online presence, this is always something good to think about and review, especially as we're turning the year and getting into January. If you don't have an online presence, you shouldn't really be afraid at all. These are really easy steps to follow to help get you going. So the first one, clarify your message and your persona. So you want to be concise, revealing, and make sure that you help differentiate yourself from any competitors out there, highlighting what you offer. Define your audience. So understand who your prospective families are. This can include their age, their gender, their location, household income. If you have special subsidy programs, identifying that too. And then build profiles with tailored content. So what type of photos do you want? What do you want people to see? Is it a playground? Is it a classroom? Is it a teacher? Is it some type of engagement that you have? A lot of options here, but this is up to you to really help you define your brand and start building this out. So clarifying your message and persona. So Chris Murray, child care expert. So from her, so we did a podcast, and from her note was spend a little bit of time understanding your market better and the competition that compromises your market. So what does this mean, competition? It's who's in your area, what do they do exactly, and how does that differentiate from what you do? Going back to the age groups, going back to the specific programs that you guys offer. What makes up that marketplace and how many centers are in your area. How many centers are growing in your area? Are new ones opening up? Julie Wassam, so another childcare expert, offers something of value to parents and families that explain your center's unique benefits. So a lot of different programs out there, whether you're a STEM program, a STEAM program, whether it's a Montessori. So how are you differentiating yourself from that in the education you're offering? Is there a health and wellness benefit? Maybe it's a food program and lunch you offer. Maybe it's a separate program outside that you guys are starting with e-learning going on. So how are you guys differentiating yourself and adding value? Are there a specific parent benefit that you guys have that's unique only to you? How are you presenting that? How are you showing that? And hi, mama, communicating your advantages effectively to help you stand out. So there are some brands out there really strong, a family of brands for families, right? That's their value prop. So what are you doing to stand out from the crowd? Is it branding, making sure that you have continuity across everything you stand out? Is it a really strong message that ties into the community that you guys are serving? Is there something that you can do uniquely to help you stand out? And then from here, we want to define the target audience. So this is definitely a big one. It's one that you should definitely spend some time on. And first and foremost, it's ensuring that they have a need. So you want to make sure that people that you're reaching out to, they are parents, they are guardians. So are there children in this area? Are there not? If they're unemployed or if they have a stay-at-home guardian, right, they might not need your services. So when you're marketing, when you're reaching out, when you're building an online brand, how are you communicating to this specific group? And if somebody reaches out for care, how are you figuring out with them where they're at in their decision-making process and what type of material you can provide to them? It's all about the location. So if you're based out of Chicago, you don't want to know anything about families that are in Denver. So how are you targeting your ads and making sure that you're reaching out to people who are in your specific location within your city? And this is great if you have multiple locations in multiple different cities. This is something that you can do on a location by location basis and across your entire organization. So you want to make sure it does have that location-specific content, and this way it'll help you communicate relevantly too. You know, I know we talked about at the beginning, making sure that you're talking two ways back and forth with people and those prospective families. So this will help you do that with the right message as well. And then keeping your cost in mind. So every city's got a different price point. Again, Chicago going to be different than Denver, going to be different than Dallas or LA. So calculating how much your center services would cost a family with one child. So when you're factoring in the living, understanding how much your income is for your ideal prospects, making sure that your center is affordable or at least in line with your brand. If you're tailoring yourself as a high-end, more expensive childcare center, you can do that as well. But understanding that, presenting that up front, and making sure that you're going into that will be key to helping you identify your target audience and reaching out to them effectively. Building your brand on social media. So this is all about getting out with parents. So we talked earlier, social media, millennials, right? 62% of them are on Facebook. We've got millennials who grew up with social networks. It's a good place to look to find out more information, not only from you and what you're delivering outwardly, but also what their peers are saying. So what is someone who's just like Mike Hook or Sierra or Linda, what are they saying about the center? So you can share your location, your hours of operation, how many children are enrolled, average classroom size, any type of special programs you guys are offering. And again, remember, with building these brands online, they're a little bit different in every avenue. Your website's going to be a little bit different than Facebook, but you can have continuity across these platforms to help get your message out in multiple different ways, depending on how your millennial parents, or any parents for that matter, are going to hear about you and find out. Why your team is amazing. So you guys are working hard. Look, there's been health and safety, there's education, there's fun events, there's things going on in the community. So introducing your dedicated individuals, whether that be through a teacher spotlight or maybe a child spotlight. We've seen customers who have done that. but it allows people to engage with things that you're doing with your team and your people to help build your brand, to help gain engagement, and to really bring that personal touch out to your center in a big way with a wide reach. So the good, the fun, the hysterical. It's childcare. There's a lot going on. Your days are never dull, and we want to share that. So whether it's having too many children in one place, whether it's the blocks, capturing a moment with the camera. So we do always have to say, definitely want to get parents' permission before putting anything up on the website, but capturing those fun moments of your children and the teachers, making sure that you're sharing these activities, what you're doing to help people learn, whether, again, that be some new initiative with e-learning or coming back to your center and opening back up, the things you're doing as you look to get into the holidays. There's a lot of excitement going on. And it's something that you should definitely be looking to share. And lastly, what makes you unique? Right? So what makes you special? What are you doing that might be different than anyone else? Or what are you doing that's just your own unique twist on something that already exists? Why would families choose you over someone else? And why should they reach out to you? So building your brand on social media, this is good for Facebook. This is good for Instagram. It's good for Pinterest if you're there. It really works across all these channels, and you can tie it all in as well to everything you're doing to help your center grow. So focusing. So where do we do this, right? Where are we going to build an online brand? How do we split up our time and our efforts across different platforms? So the number one tool that you could use is your website. So again, show of hands, curious. If you've got a website here, would love you to drop in a 1. If you've done anything with your website, gotten a new website in the last 3 years, would love to have you add a 2. So the website, about 30% of your time should be focused on your website from building an online presence. So we've got some 1s. I see some 1s and some 2s. So this is good. So everybody here, it looks like you've embraced it. Yes, working on revamping. So that's awesome. Guys, the website, this is the first place people engage. So we say spend 30% of your time on this. A couple things that you could do for your website right away. Getting a contact us form. So we talked earlier, 53% of all leads we see are coming from online, right? That 16%, that other bucket, are still people coming in online, but sometimes they're just coming in through email. Maybe because someone doesn't have a contact us form available. Maybe they're scheduling a tour through a listing service that's coming in that just pulled into there. That's not set up right. So someone reached out through a lead gen platform and then they got manually entered in, which with our partnerships wouldn't have to happen anymore. But there are some things in there too where people might be coming in online more than you think. So managing your website is going to be really important. So contact us forms, meeting parents where they're at. Your website is another area where you can set up parent scheduled tours. So parents could log in, they can go schedule a tour time for whenever you would like to have that. And you're now giving them control. So they can meet you where, or you can meet them where they're at. Again, keeping in line with how they like to buy. And this will help build that website up as well. And then content info for a blog. So anytime you do a blog, you're creating this content, you're actually putting out information for families to digest. This is current families. So not only will this online presence help with retention of current families through blogs and information given, it'll help attract new prospective families too. And these blogs are a great way for you to, again, highlight a lot of things that you're doing as a center, highlight things that you're thinking about, and go about how you can continue to build your brand up. There's Google. So again, we've got Google down there, about 15% of your times. And when we say Google, this isn't just Google search. It's about getting ads up. So using the right relevant ads for your center and getting those on Google. Making sure that you have your right SEO triggers hooked up. So are you using specific keywords that are popular to your area? Do you guys have YouTube videos that you're creating about your center and publishing on those platforms? And Facebook has some carryover with that too. So we say 20% for Facebook because a lot of people are there. You guys, are you doing Facebook ads right now? Just a question for the group. That's another area you can focus on. And then as we discussed earlier, continuing to promote there with all the things you're doing. The last one I really want to touch on here is the lead generation platforms. So are you guys living and are you guys claiming sites everywhere you can to help parents find you? So there are some big ones out there, the care.coms, the Winnies, the Kinsides, names that I've mentioned before and that our company works with. But these are platforms where parents can find out about you. And there are ways that you can build yourself up online, again, giving more avenues to capture relevant information that we know parents want. So they want to know about your center. They want to see reviews. They want to be able to click through these platforms and then come straight to you. So focusing on these areas will help. And then when you have this all bundled together, you're going to have a really comprehensive online presence that will allow you to engage with your prospective families, capture their information in multiple different areas, meet them where they're at, and ultimately show off your personality as a child care center and all the great things you're doing. So a couple ways that you can optimize this. So talked a lot about getting on the front end, getting out there, what channels you need to go to, where you need to be in. There are a couple ways to optimize this strategy. And the first one is to create targeted pre-scheduled emails and text communications. So how are you reaching out to prospective families? Once you have their information, how are you scheduling those emails to go back out? And what are you doing to engage with the community so that you can set it and forget it? And make sure that you're just coming back as people reach out. Identify where your leads are coming from anywhere on the web. So again, we talked about a big focus is where are our leads coming from? All of this stuff, you're working really hard, you're being really thoughtful. So which channels are working? And the thing with this is it's going to be different in every area. So there are some areas where Facebook's going to be great. There are some areas where Google's going to be great. And there's no crystal ball into figuring all that out. So identifying where your leads are coming from will allow you to key in specifically to your location and what's working best. So you can refocus your efforts there to meet as many prospective families as possible. Take advantage of seamless website forms, such as contact forms and tour schedule forms. So making it easy for parents to engage with you, making it easy for parents to reach out, and then making it easy for you to capture that information, to get it and then follow up with those families. So again, parents, it's ease of reaching out, ease of information, and speed of response. Easily create trackable links to use on social media profiles and posts. So very similar, making sure that you have links, making sure that parents can click on them, making sure that we can fill out information. And then now that you have all this, utilizing streamlined reporting tools and dashboards. So making sure that you guys are understanding where are these coming from? How are these families hearing about us? How are these families converting? How are these families engaging with us? And are we capturing all of our leads and where they're coming from? And are we understanding how those families are turning into enrollments versus who's going on a wait list? Who's ready? And all of this can be captured with a strong online presence and with a strong brand. So the last thing here, I'll leave everybody with before we open it up for some questions, is you've worked really hard. So when building an online presence, and again, whether this is something for those people out here who I know in the chat commented like, yes, we've already got a website, we're working on updating it. For those that are just getting into really developing and building your brand, you're spending a lot of time on this and you're spending a lot of money on this. This is hard work to build these brands. So you want to make sure that you're capturing leads, make sure that you're responding quickly and setting yourself up for success to turn this hard work into enrollments. So don't forget about that part. Current customers, if you have any questions, feel free to call us or email us at support@childcarecrm.com. For anyone who's not using Childcare CRM, wants more information, feel free to give us a call. You can also email sales@childcarecrm.com. Well, I appreciate you all joining us today. As a follow-up to this, we will be sending out the benchmark report with all the information that you saw here today, as well as some other stuff we didn't cover. We will be sending out some digital marketing tips. And if you guys stay up to date with us, we will be hosting a couple other webinars to go through different areas of our benchmark report. So would love to have you guys come back, continue to join us, and appreciate you coming here today.